Hey, Adam Culbertson here. Before we begin, we got a promo from another independent podcast, so when you finish this episode, make sure you go and check them out.
Hey there, I'm Tara.
And I'm Jessica, and together we co-host the podcast Three Spooked Girls.
If you love the paranormal
or murder,
join us on Mondays for full-length episodes where we discuss our favorite paranormal stories and true crime cases.
And join us again on Thursdays for our mini-sodes called Stabby Snippets, where we tell you all about true crimes happening in the news.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Spotify, or wherever the hell else you listen to your pods at. You can also find us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook by using the handle @3spookedgirls.
Come and hang out with us and get your spooky on while we scare the hell out of you.
Steel your mind for eldritch horrors of the universe unknown. For what is to follow is a tale of intrigue, mystery, and madness. You're listening to Microphones and Monsters. You wake up, Aleister, you wake up inside of a lab animal cage. And Victor, you wake up, you're laying on a table, and you just hear Julian say, I forgot what was the last thing you said, Julian.
It was something along the lines of, this is all too strange and familiar at the same time.
Yeah, so you hear that, both of you hear that as you wake up, and it's just...
Also...
Yeah, we'll go there.
Also, as I wake up, really now, this kind of indignity shall not stand.
So did I notice that Aleister is awake now, that he's bitching?
Well, you noticed that when he yells out that, yeah.
and trying to figure out how Victor would wake up. Like, would it be like a sudden, like, you know, you were like having a dream and all of a sudden you like woke up, or just sort of like, the stretch and
we'll say it's a groggy wake up because you were asleep from that gas.
Okay, yeah, and obvious, and I wake up and I'm much less comfortable, so that can't be. So I'm just sort of like,
Yeah, you hear Victor grunt.
Awesome.
Julian,
that's what I needed to hear.
Julian, where are we?
I'm not gonna pay attention to Victor. I'm still gonna have my focus trained on Edwin. And
okay.
I'm gonna say 87.
87.
Yes, including what I've seen here and my own work. And the funny thing is that I'm only counting the live subjects that you have used. We've both gone through 87 different living people. Of course, you haven't gone through that many living people. I had a panache for coming across such hapless, wayward people at the university. The bugbear, of course, is the one that I remember the most. Just so hopped up on whatever kind of they had some kind of bag that they inhale and some interesting drug. Regardless, here's the thing, Edwin. Once you have consumed so many bodies, snuffed out so many lives, you come to realize that there is a cost to what you are doing. I didn't realize the cost at the time. It was only after I was so close to finally completing my work that abomination that I created, when it looked back into me, I realized that what I was doing, we're not gods. And us trying to convince ourselves that we're anything close to it is madness. So, that day, I burned down my lab, burned everything that I could find a trace of that I once was, and I left. Edwin, I know you have a fascination for this research. It's very similar to the one I had. That's why I tried to stop you before. You thought that accident you had at the university was just mere lapse in concentration, just a sheer accident. No, I sabotaged your experiment so that you would stop. But you continued, and your fascination is still there. It's just no good will come from this. I would ask you to give up this crusade, this dream of immortality. I don't know if you can, though.
So you're saying the accident in the lab wasn't my fault, it was your fault?
Yes.
He snaps his finger. You hear that mechanical meow again. And the direction of the mechanical meow is where Gerbo was laying, or is laying. And there's a syringe. The tail, the syringe on the tail of the cat is right next to Gerbo's throat. And Edwin says, I've never administered the serum on a living creature before, so be very mindful of your next movement and what you say next, because I don't know what effects it will have on this poor young nurse, but it will be your fault if something does happen to him. If you do nothing right now, he will be okay. So as he's saying all this, all of you, your passive perceptions, you notice that black ooze that had creeped out of the reanimated constructs, you notice that it like while he's talking, like you kind of lose track of like what he's saying, and you're focused on this now, and it crawls up onto that vat where that ooze creature is inside, and you start to see it, the glass like cracks,
like it starts to crack, or
yeah, like it doesn't bust open or anything like that, but it cracks, like a crack, just spiders, like spider webs up and down and around. where it focuses on this one spot and its spider web cracks out from that. And he continues to talk, and I can't believe that all this time my research would have never been halted. My research would have never been delayed to the point that I would have had to gone to war. I would have never had to make a deal with my master. All because of you. You did this to me.
Yes,
And like he continues to talk, and he's just rambling, like he's pacing back and forth, and he's just crazed. Like he's got this crazed look on his face, and his eyes are bulging at this point. And again, you're noticing that on that vat, that it seems like that black liquid is shrinking inside of the tube.
Isn't the liquid starting to escape the vat?
That's what it seems like.
So, quick aside. So this like test subject cage, like, is it actually like locked? Is there some kind of padlock? Is it just like a latch?
It's not locked. It's just a latch.
Yeah. So during all of this,
Not necessary.
Yeah, during all of this,
Don't get Gerbo killed.
I'm not gonna.
Oh, he's going to get Gerbo killed.
I'm not gonna get Gerbo.
Don't get Gerbo killed.
Maybe, but I'm not gonna get him killed.
No.
Well, it'd be really great if one of us had some sort of ability in which we could make grapple checks at range.
Yeah, I mean that would be handy, wouldn't it?
Cough. Excuse me.
Get some water.
I just did. It's right next to me.
See, if we're being real rule sticklers, though, grappling him won't really do anything. Because as long as he's still next to Gerbo, that wouldn't really change anything. But anyways.
Yeah. He can't grapple and then pull him.
That's right. That's a separate action. Shit.
But anyway, I do want to, like, while this is going on, unlatch myself. Unlatch the cage.
Okay. How are you just reaching out and doing it?
Hand, be all cool, but
Okay. Yeah, cool.
Hadn't used
Cool.
Mage
Yeah.
Hand in a while.
I mean, I use
Mage
it. I
hand.
just use it
Mage
by
hand's
proxy. Like when I got the tinder out of the tinder box, that would have been using
Yes.
Mage hand.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you mage hand your way out of the little kennel,
Okay.
the little specimen or lab
Well, that's fine.
animal cage.
So secondly, I do want to address the mechanical cat. I'll actually kind of say over into his direction, not really approaching, just speaking into his direction.
Okay.
I see. Some champion you are. You go in here for whatever it was they were trying to get you in to investigate, the portal, I suppose, and you get yourself captured and turned into this. And then even through all of that, you still just kind of bend to the whims of whatever it is that this guy is doing. I don't really know. But seriously, like, through all of this, that's all you can do? Ulthar needs to find better champions, it seems.
As you say, Ulthar needs to find better champions. He, like, mechanically, his head like turns backwards, like just like Exorcist kind of deal, and looks at you, and it's very like a creaky kind of turn, and you hear cracking, and its eyes light up, and it starts to shake a little bit, and then the syringe in its tail explodes, and he falls limp, and the ooze, you notice that the ooze is making its way over to where that vat is at. And Aleister, like the other two, I'm guessing have seen it just draining, and you look over and like the ooze isn't there anymore on the glass. Edwin goes, "What have you done? What have you done to my cat?" Like, You've ruined everything.
It seems that I was proven wrong, and he actually was up to snuff, as it seems.
Edwin, I need you to calm down. And I need you to step away from the vat.
You tell me to calm down. Why should I calm down? You came in here, you destroyed my research, my work. This was intentional. You have sabotaged me since college.
Edwin, I need you to step back from the vat right now.
You start hearing this sound. That's this noise, almost like a babbling brook or a trembling pool of water would seem apt to what it sounds like. You notice that it's coming from the ceiling, while he's yelling and ignoring what you're saying to him. And you look up on the ceiling and you see this black blob of thick organic material swiftly changing forms, emitting rope-like tendrils and building legs, mouths, and other structures seemingly without pattern.
Victor's just been sitting on his gurney the whole time.
Like waiting like a patient, like, oh, hope I come back with a lollipop.
Well, Julian was monologuing, and then Aleister made the cat explode.
Victor just didn't know
he's
what to
just
say.
Groggy and terrified and confused and physically uncomfortable.
What it really is Victor misses being a human.
Yeah, that's part of it. He's physically uncomfortable.
Yeah, your skin's crawling again.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, he's got bonus living wrappings now.
You see that the ooze on the ceiling is starting to open up and create this maw, and these teeth, these sharp fangs start forming in its mouth, and there's like 3 rows of them going back into its body, and it starts dripping this mucusy substance, and it falls on Edwin's shoulder, and he's opening up above Edwin. Edwin notices the mucus land on his shoulder, and he touches it and looks at it, and then he looks up. His already crazed look, his eyes seem to bulge even more out of his head as he lets out this blood-curdling scream, and the ooze wraps that maw around him and lands on top of him and completely consumes him.
Cool.
And roll for initiative.
It's like, okay, now I'm going to cast a spell.
Where's the door?
Yeah, roll for initiative.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't roll shit. I got a 15.
20.
Yeah. Well met.
Wonder if I can bite this.
Who had 20?
I did. Steven, Victor.
Devin.
Devin had 20.
Viven Sictor.
All right.
See, I don't know how well Victor's attacks are going to work against a gelatinous blob thing. Does piercing damage. Is he going to pierce?
Well, I would look for an improvised weapon around you.
Like,
Do you have any torches? Okay, so what's we did initiative, so all right. Who goes first?
yes, initiative. Also, during the sleep period that Aleister and Victor were asleep and Julian was walking through the hospital and talking with Edwin, we'll say that an hour had passed, so any key points and spell slots that Aleister had used up, they would get back.
Nice.
And Aleister did not take damage. Like, the damage did not carry over from the Dreamlands.
Yeah, damage from the Dreamlands did not carry over to his physical body because it was 2 separate bodies, and he didn't go there in his physical body.
Yay,
Excellent.
just mental duress.
All that
Yes.
work trying to protect him for nothing.
You just watched this large slime just eat Edwin, and Victor's up first.
Victor's up first. No idea what to do with this thing.
Do me a favor.
Uh-huh.
Don't get close to it right now.
No. I don't think I will. We bought him for a reason. How close am I to it right now?
I would say you're within 15 feet of it, where it ate him. Julian would be the closest because he was next to Edwin, looking at him.
And how big is this thing? Is it like more or less person or slightly larger than...
It is large size. You are medium size. It is large size.
It is large size. Okay. I am going to... how far away from it can we get? How big is this room?
The room is fairly large. It's a big basement, other than the door where those things were stored at, which you wouldn't have seen it yourself. But you do see like these big double doors. But the room is, we'll say it's 60 by 60.
Okay, so it's a big room. Okay.
Yeah, it's basement. It wasn't sectioned off into multiple rooms or anything.
And obviously, I would have looked around the room while Julian was talking and all the events leading up to this was going on. Just, I guess, would I have noticed anything that might come to mind as something that could be used as a weapon? To something useful.
What are you thinking?
Something small and damaging if thrown is what I'm looking for. Like nearby me or within my reach.
Like there's definitely like stools, like those little doctor stools, you know, which I guess is just a stool.
Okay.
You got some IV stands. Let's see. You got like small carts.
Okay, so it's just
Stuff
general
like some
medical room
1920s medical equipment. Yeah.
1920s medical equipment. Okay. I don't know how useful much of that would be. But I do want to get a little bit further away from this thing. So I'm gonna use a key point as a bonus action to disengage and get.
You're not within striking distance of it.
Oh, I'm not. Oh, well, that's even better. I didn't know that.
You're 15 feet away from it.
Okay, I didn't know how far its striking distance was. In that case, I'm just going to move another 20 feet maybe away from it. And I'm going to pull out my shurikens. And I'm going to start I'm going to use one attack and I'm going to throw a shuriken at it. Am I able to use one attack and see how that works before I do another one?
Yeah.
Cool, because I don't want to waste a shuriken if it's pointless. Cool. All right. Well, then I'm gonna throw a shuriken at it. So let's roll that. So that's a 24 to hit.
Okay.
Does that hit?
24 hits.
Okay. If it didn't, then that would be scary. And it would do 6 damage. Piercing damage. 6 piercing damage.
Piercing damage? Okay.
Yes.
So you throw the shuriken at it, and it like as it hits it you notice that the area that it hits kind of recoils, but then the shuriken absorbs into, like it like surrounds it with it.
Okay.
But you notice that it, like, there was a reaction to it.
There was a reaction to it. All right. Do I know
But
if
yeah,
it
that
damaged
shuriken
it or
is
not?
gone.
Yeah, I figured that. That's why I didn't want to
That's
throw
all
two.
you know.
That's all I know.
That's all you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm down a shuriken, and I don't know if it did any damage at all.
It reacted to it hitting it, like it recoiled,
It recoiled. Okay.
but then it like surrounded it and absorbed it into its body. Its ooziness.
As I don't know what's going to happen with that later, I think I might just let's see. I don't know if I can do much more. Yeah. I'll probably just, like yell out. It's like, at the other two guys and be like, I don't know if that hurt it or not. And
Okay.
And then I'll just stay back for the moment because they can shoot lasers and lightning, so they might be a little bit more effective against the goo.
All right, Julian, you are 5 feet
Okay.
face to face with this thing.
I'm going to not be 5 feet, and I am going to move 30 feet away because that is my
Are you
maximum
just
movement.
you're just going for the move?
No. I'm moving 30 feet because I can move and then do an action as well.
Okay, so you're wanting to save your action for after the move?
No, I'm going to move and then I'm going to cast a spell. So I'm going to move away, and as soon as I've moved away, I'll cast a spell.
Okay, so you're not disengaging.
Oh, I'm in melee combat right now?
I said you're 5 feet. You're face to face with
that
it.
would be the case. Okay, then, yeah, definitely disengaging.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right, so you move 30 feet.
Yeah, I'm getting the hell away from this thing.
You manage to slip away as Julie or as Victor's what's it called?
Shuriken?
Yeah, as
Shuriken.
as the shuriken
stars.
goes in. Yeah.
My
As the
ninja star.
shuriken goes into him, you're able to slip away.
Good. I'm going to, and then, I'm going to, is it getting bigger or is it still the same size?
Same size.
Okay, same size. Okay, all right. Then I'm going to,
It's just shifting and morphing
okay.
constantly.
I got the lightning gun slung. I don't have it like out, but I've kind of got it at my side. And then,
Okay.
then I'll be ready to cast a spell next round.
All right, Aleister.
Kind of unsure about what's exactly going on with this, so I don't really want to kind of
right.
overcommit, so to speak.
Okay, so you're over on one of the walls. You are 30 feet away from this creature. You're still inside the cage, but you never said you jumped out of it, but it is open, and you have access to
Right, and I didn't
leave
really
it
intend
as
to
you
say
want.
that I necessarily left. I just don't want the door to be closed on me necessarily. Although,
Yeah, it's open. You're 30 feet away, though.
although I think now would probably be as good a time as any to not be in the cage, to have the ability
Yeah.
to kind of like go elsewhere. So I'll go ahead and leave the cage. And is there maybe something like kind of up above the cages, like on the wall that I can maybe jump up onto?
There's a big machine that was tied to that head. Well, you see a head on top of a machine, and like there's a machine that's got hoses going to it, and it's up against the wall near where you are.
Does it have like a nice like kind of flat surface to be able to stand on?
Totally, yeah, up on top. So you're at a high, like a tall shelf.
Okay.
You're up on top of that machine.
That sounds good. And I'll be able to get there within 40 feet, say?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and do that. Climb up on top of the machine.
All right.
And then I will go ahead and chuck a couple of Eldritch Blasts his way. The
All right.
blob.
And we'll
morphous
say you're
thing's way.
you're about 40 feet away from him,
Okay.
or away from it.
That sounds good. So. The first is a nat 1.
So,
All right.
no,
And the second is a 27.
that's not a nat 1.
No, that hits.
That would
20
probably hit.
27 hits.
And it's going to be for 9 damage.
All right. And what type of damage is the Eldritch Blast?
Let me double check, but I believe it's considered force damage.
Okay. I think I've asked you that
Evaporation
before.
damage.
Yes, force damage.
And how much was it again?
9.
All right. So one of your blasts comes out and hits him dead in the middle, and then it like burns into the ooze, and then the ooze just like forms back around it to where it's all moist and wet again.
Gross.
And the other one veers off around it and hits that vat that it came out of that's already cracked, and it hits it and it just shatters, and there's glass all over the floor around it.
Yeah, that helps, right? I'm helping.
That's behind. It's behind the ooze, of course.
That was totally what I was planning.
Exactly.
But yeah, but when you hit it with that Eldritch Blast, it just like explodes, and glass just flies for over like half of the room.
I'm trying to make the setting more dramatic, okay?
The stakes have never been higher.
And that'll be my turn.
Okay.
The long pauses make me nervous.
All right.
Yeah.
So the ooze, Julian, where did you go? Did you go closer to Victor?
No, I would have gone closer to when we first walked in.
To the door.
Yeah.
Okay. Victor, y'all are spread out right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm imagining. Okay. Julian is more towards the door on the right side of the ooze. Aleister's on the left on the wall on top of a machine, and Victor, you're in the middle. Correct? Like middle, as far away as you could get away from it.
Yeah, more or less. I couldn't have gone more than I think 60 feet, because that's the range of the ninja star. But
Okay. Well, I mean, you would have hit a wall before you hit 55 feet.
no, I just kept going like a cartoon, little Victor-shaped hole
Through the wall?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we'll say you were 15 feet away before you are at 30 feet away from him.
Okay.
If you went to the wall.
From the window to the wall.
Yes. He didn't like the blast, but he also didn't like that ninja star.
Okay.
He definitely didn't like the blast, but where the blast came from is a lot further away from him. So he is
Just be annoying
he starts
to go
sliding
over there.
He starts like sliding on the floor and like mutating as he goes. Like you see some like legs come out and create like feet as it's walking and like just slithering at the same time, and it's just as it's going over stuff, it's just absorbing like the part, like things that it's picking up along the way, and it's just kind of just like rolling with him, and he gets about 15 feet away from Victor. He creates this long tendril that whips out, and razor blade type sharp edges start appearing like your shuriken start appearing along the tendril, and he lashes out at you with it.
Cool. And he rolls a 5.
Here, you can have this back.
Here's your change.
That's a 22.
Well, that may have hit me. Yeah, that.
Just slightly.
Yeah, he lashes out at you, and that whip tendril comes across, reaches out 15 feet to you, and slashes at your face and does 8 damage.
8 damage on my face, really?
Had to be the face.
Face is already ugly enough.
And Victor, it's your turn.
Okay. Victor didn't like that. Victor is upset.
Telltale prop. Victor will remember this.
Yeah, Victor will remember this. This is one more nightmare. Okay. Sorry, most of the things I can do piercing damage. So I'm very carefully debating of whether I try to bite this.
Well, that's piercing damage too.
If I bite it, I may be able to do the psychic feast and do psychic damage. But I don't know if I'd do enough to make it worth it.
But then it'll get in your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well, remember what we had talked about earlier, that
Okay.
your
Yeah.
unarmed attacks aren't all slashing.
Yeah. Okay.
It's just a giant sentient puddle of licorice. It's fine.
Yeah.
Just get in there.
Just, okay. All right. So it's 15 feet away from me. So how close do I
Yeah.
have to get in order to punch it or kick it? Or
5 feet.
5 feet. So I'm going to move 10 feet in so that I am 5 feet. And I will, let's see, I will just punch a pile of goo. Whatever. I'll try to punch it. I'm going to punch it, not claw it. I'm going to get my claws in a fist and I'm going to try to punch it.
Okay.
And we'll just see what happens. That would be an 18 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. All right. I'm assuming I can do the same thing where I don't want to hit it with both fists and then be absorbed into it and die. I'm going to try to hit it once and then see what happens.
All right.
Okay, so that punch, assuming we're going with a d6 plus 4, that would be 5 damage, 5 bludgeoning damage with my fist.
All right. So as you punch it, you notice that like as you hit it, it's not as like absorbing like as it was. Like your fist, like you feel like it like recoils up into itself whenever you hit it.
Okay.
And it kind of shakes and gets angry.
Okay, so
It jiggles.
it's somewhat solid. It's not
Disgusting.
Jello. It's more like a
It's a sockwood.
it's like a gumdrop.
Like it feels like living tissue.
Okay.
When your fist hit it.
Got it. All right. Well,
It's non-Newtonian fluid.
let's see. I'm trying to figure out how far away from it I need to be to possibly avoid getting hit again. While I do that, I'm going to hit it again. Or I'm going to try. That'd be a
Okay.
15.
That hits.
All right, 15 hits. So let's roll higher than a 1 this time. All right, 9. 9 more bludgeoning damage.
All right, again, and that one, like you hit it the first time and it recoils into itself, and you hit it even harder the second time, and it just like ripples like further out into its body, and then it forms back into itself again,
Okay. And then
into its formless self. It forms back into being formless.
All right. And so how far away am I from Aleister and from Julian?
About 30 feet from each.
30 feet from each. It's Julian's turn next, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Cool. I am going to try to get over to where Julian is. So I'm assuming I'll have to disengage to get away safely. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm gonna use a key point to disengage this time for real, and I'm gonna use the rest of my 30 feet of movement to get over near Julian, so that he can use his gun.
Okay. Yeah. So you're able to get next to Julian.
Awesome.
You're just gonna leave Aleister behind.
Aleister can shoot lasers and make big giant columns of light. He'll be fine.
And has managed himself pretty well in every combat we have done.
And I don't want Julian to get
I was
to get
joking.
hurt. Oh, I know.
Oh, I wasn't.
All right. Yeah. So Julian, if you're done.
Okay, so I'm going to. How far am I from the blob?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay. So I'm going to. If I move an additional 30 feet back, where am I in the room? Am I like outside of the room yet, or?
You're at the door.
Okay. Right now, I'm at the door.
Yes.
Okay. So, all right, from the door, I am going to grab a new alchemist vial that I have. And this one has a wick on it. And then I'm going to shake it up significantly. I'm going to light the wick, and then I'm going to throw it. And in the process, I am casting Flaming Spear.
Ooh. Okay.
So what this does is, for people who don't know, is 5-foot diameter sphere of fire appears for an unoccupied space of your choice within range that lasts for the duration. Any creature that ends its turn within 5 feet of the sphere must make a dexterity saving throw. The creature takes 2d6 fire damage on a failed save, or half as much on a successful one. It's bonus action. I can move the sphere up to 30 feet. If I ram it into a creature, the creature must make the same throw against the sphere's damage, and the sphere stops moving on the turn. I can direct it over barriers. It ignites flammable objects and creates light. So basically, I can do this up to 1 minute, and is as long as I can concentrate on it.
Okay. And it's a sphere, right?
It is a 5-foot sphere. And
Okay.
I am literally putting that thing right between me and the creature.
Okay.
Not like right in
Okay.
front of my face, but
Like
with,
5 feet from it.
yes,
In the space in front of it, between you.
exactly.
Okay.
So it's blocking.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So yeah, you toss that sucker and it lands on the ground in front of it, and that sphere of fire appears
And that's
as it shatters, I guess. Yeah, as the vial shatters.
Like I would imagine it would like shatter.
All right. So roll what you need to roll for.
That's the best part about
The
this.
sphere.
Is I don't have to do any of that.
You don't have to roll anything. Okay, I have to roll.
Nope, it just happens.
Well-
Yeah, I just need a deck save of 15.
Just not to be like a real rule stickler, but is it like also on cast, or is it just at the end of their turn, or when you like bump it into them?
Okay, any creature that ends its turn within the sphere.
Oh, okay. So it's only end of turn.
Or if I move it and it
But you
bumps
can move
into
it as a
something.
bonus action, right?
Yes, I
Which
can. Okay, so
you
then I'll do that
theoretically
because I
still
haven't
have
used
a
the bonus action.
now.
Yeah, then I'll move the sphere into the blob because I didn't use the bonus action. That's a very good point.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're
All
welcome.
right.
So now I need the deck save.
It is a nat 1.
Ooh, so that is
Woohoo! Talked into failure.
I will. Do you want me to roll the damage, or do you want to roll the
You
damage?
roll the damage. It's your spell.
Okay, so that is 2d6 fire damage, and you take 4 fire damage. It's not a lot of damage, but it
No bonuses to that.
Nope, it's just flat 2d6.
It's
okay.
not a lot of
You don't add
damage.
your spell bonus.
No, you don't add your spell
Okay.
bonus to it. Pretty sure it did. At least in
You
D&D
generally,
Beyond, it didn't say to
generally
add it.
don't. Like spells like this are kind of meant to be kind of more of a tool to cause a little bit of damage over time, especially because
Okay.
you don't really have to do a lot to maintain them.
Yeah.
Like you can still do other stuff while they're going on.
And it goes off for free
Right.
too. So
All right. Yeah. So it lets out this screeching wail as it's getting burned a little there, as it's inside the sphere, or the sphere is on it, I guess. Richard, you would recognize the screech and pain, just a combination of kind of like curses in Aklo.
Yeah.
Um,
Awesome. Wow. Things have taken a very interesting turn all of a sudden. Poor Edwin. He was so caught up trying to blame Julian for everything that's gone wrong in his life. And I suppose that may be true to some extent, but at a certain point you have to claim your own responsibility. Julian did not decide to go to war for him. That was all on himself. And I suppose it's fitting that being so caught up in things, he didn't notice what was going on around him, and ultimately that ignorance swallowed him whole. I was pleasantly surprised that the champion of Ulthar had managed to overcome everything on his own. I suppose it just took a good push in the right direction. Perhaps I have been a little too hard on Ulthar and his champions. Maybe there is some merit to them after all. Who knows? Things are definitely heating up in this combat, though. I see that Julian has taken a note from me and decided to use some spells that can do a lot of damage over a little bit of time. It is very useful, especially when you have a longer combat. And I suppose Victor is holding his own, considering his limitations. I pity anyone who doesn't have the ability to cast magic. It makes things so much easier. It is so much better. I am actually glad that I was able to save Gerbo today. I, again, don't really wish any ill on Gerbo, but more importantly, I think his cat deserves to have its companion back. I can't really stand to see cats orphaned like that. It really tugs at my heartstrings. If you have any comments or questions for us, or if you just want to say hi, you should come visit us at microphonesandmonsters.com, where we have links for all of our podcatchers and all of our social media. Everything that you can find there. As always, all music is written and produced by Marco Mazzei of Fallen Highway Studios. Thank you again for listening in, and hope you join us next time on Microphones and Monsters.